Alright, this is video 13 in the series. I hope you've had a chance to practice the Danhauser exercises up to number 53 in his first book by this point, and that you've also had a chance to do all of the Dandelot exercises up to 25. Today we're going to do our first exercise in the meter 2/4 in Danhauser, and we're going to start with number 26 in Dandelot. But I also wanted to mention that at this point it might be useful for you to start reading with some other people. Either find someone who's at a similar level as you, or it can also be fun to sightsing with people who aren't at the same level yet as you, or maybe who are a little bit better than you. So I would encourage that at this point, that you start reading with other people. Whether you're reading two-part stuff, you know, some simple pieces that are two-part. You could find some really good Renaissance pieces by Orlando Lasso, for example, or whether you're reading these Danhauser exercises, you'll definitely profit from reading with other people, and it can be a whole lot of fun too, as you'll see. Okay, let's go ahead and get to that first Dandelot exercise, which concentrates on octaves, number 26 in treble clef. And it looks like this. Let's go ahead and do this one. Would be groups of 2 throughout. Let's put an accent on the first syllable. All right, I'll give you a count of 4 as usual. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sol, sol, mi, mi, do, do, si, si, re, re, fa, fa, la, la, sol, sol, do, do, fa, fa, re, re, si, si, la, la, mi, mi, si, si, re, re, sol, sol, la, la, si, si, do, 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 do. Not incredibly difficult. You might ask what the point of that one is, but I think it is actually good to get your eyes used to simply what the interval of an octave looks like, because it occurs very often, both in tonal and atonal music. Okay, let's go ahead and read the next one. And it's number 28, and this is the first one that we can see we have some compound intervals. This one's actually concentrating on the interval of the 10th. Let's go ahead and read this one. Grouping is going to get a little bit more difficult when we have so many jumps. Let's go ahead and just continue grouping, reading 2 syllables at a time, basically, groups of 2. Put an accent on the first syllable. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, sol, mi, do, si, sol, fa, re, do, sol, mi, do, si, sol, re, si, sol, fa, re, si, sol, mi, do, sol, re, si, sol, fa, mi, do, si, re, do, sol, mi, do, la, sol, mi, do, la, fa, re, la, si, sol, mi, do, re, fa, sol, si, do, la, sol, mi, fa, la, re, la, sol, mi, re, si, do. So when they get more difficult like that, sometimes it's just most useful to read, 2 syllables at a time, how it's notated. Maybe if it's notated in triplets, you could read 3 at a time, but not trying to be too complicated about the way you read it, and also always looking ahead when you're reading the syllables. Okay, let's go ahead and look at an example in Bass Clef, also number 26, which concentrates on octaves there as well. Here it is. Let's go ahead and go through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, do, sol, sol, do, do, fa, fa, sol, sol, mi, mi, la, la, re, re, sol, sol, re, re, mi, mi, re, 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 do, 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 si, si, sol, sol, fa, fa, re, re, mi, la, la, re, re, sol, sol, do, do, do. And we'll finish up with number 28 in Bass Clef as well. Let's go ahead and look at that one, which deals with tenths. Here it is. All right, let's do it. Groups of 2 again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. La, fa, la, do, fa, la, do, mi, sol, si, la, fa, re, si, do, mi, sol, mi, fa, la, do, fa, mi, do, re, si, do, mi, sol, do, si, re, sol, si, la, fa, sol, mi, re, sol, fa, re, do, mi, do. All right, and let's go ahead and move on to Danhauser, and we'll take it up where we left off last time with exercise 54 in cut time, and of course in C major. And here's what it looks like. Take a look at it. Think about where you might have difficulties and put in grace notes. I'm going to try to start relying a little bit less on grace notes. I hope you're starting to internalize the sound of the scale degrees a little bit, but here's where I put them in. can see that I've done some gap filling in the third system and using do at the end there to get the re, and then the last system also is doing some gap filling. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. We're at a tempo of 92 to the half, which we've had before. Again, I'll give you 2 counts, and then we'll come in on the second beat of the first measure with sol. Let's do our warm-up for C major. Do, mi, sol, la, fa, re, si, do. So the first note's sol, ready, and. Sol, do, mi, re, do, si, re, si, sol, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, si, re, do, si, la, sol, sol, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, sol, do, si, la, do, re, do, si, re, sol, mi, re, do, sol, do, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, la, re, do, si, do. So you could see at the end there we had basically a leap of a major sixth from re to fa, and that I basically filled that in, taking the octave from the re and going up the scale to fa, because that was probably the most difficult leap in that piece. Let's go ahead and move on to the next exercise. And you can see that I skipped a few here. Basically the exercises that came in between that are basically rhythmic variations, just basically what we just did sped up times 2 and times 4. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those out, but I definitely recommend that you look at them. Let's go ahead and do this one. You can see the tempo is a little bit slower. Let's see, in that fifth measure, you can see we're going from do to re. Let's go ahead and put in some grace notes. You can put in more grace notes if you feel like it, where you need them. Let's go ahead and do this one. Again, the first note's sol, do, mi, sol. All right, here we go. Ready, and. Sol, do, mi, sol, do, re, si, do, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, si, re, sol, la, do, re, do, mi, re, do, si, mi, do, si, la, sol, 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 do, mi, do, si, la, sol, 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 mi, re, do, si, la, sol, sol, do, mi, sol, do, re, si, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, fa, mi, re, do, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, si, do, re, do, si, do, re, do, do. So these are definitely getting more difficult. Let's move on to the next example, number 59, which is actually in 2/4, which has the same conducting pattern as cut time, although we're counting quarters instead of halves. So you're going to come down and then back up, always trying to come back to that same point, which I notice I can be lazy on sometimes. Okay, let's take a look at it. So we're back to 92 beats per minute. We're going to come back to the beginning at the end and finish in the second system. Let's put in some grace notes in this one. All right, nothing too complicated, a little bit of gap filling. Let's go ahead and do this one, make sure you're conducting. Again, the first note's sol, ready, and. Sol, la, do, re, do, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, la, do, re, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, sol, si, re, do, si, la, do, si, la, sol, do, re, sol, si, re, do, si, la, sol, la, si, la, sol, la, si, la, sol, sol,
sol, la, do, re, do, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, la, do, re, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, re, do.
And we'll move on to the next example in 2/4, which this time has some eighth notes, but it's a little bit slower. Let's take a look at it. And I'm actually only going to put in grace notes in one single spot. You might put them in more if you feel like it. I'm going to put them in the first system there, as you can see, just to get that law from the do and si as we've done before. All right, let's go ahead and read this one. We're starting on the very same note again. So first note's sol. All right, a little bit slower. Ready? And
sol, la, si, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, la, si, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, la, fa, mi, re, do, sol, do, si, sol, re, do, sol, do, si, sol, re, do, si, re, do, si, la, do, si, la, sol, la, si, re, do, si, la, do, si, la, sol, do, si, la, sol, do, si, la, sol, do, si, do, la, si, sol, la, sol, la, sol, la, si, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, la, si, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, la, fa, mi, re, do, sol, do, si, sol, re, do, sol, do, si, sol, re, do.
And we'll go ahead and conclude today with number 65, which has some dotted quarters. We haven't seen so many dotted note values up to this point. Hopefully you're keeping up with your rhythm reading. Let's go ahead and look at number 65. Okay, so we've got a tempo of 72. We're back to 4/4 time. And we got all sorts of dotted note values here. Let's put in a couple grace notes. All right, you can see I'm pretty much only using do to get other notes. Do is the easiest reference tone. Maybe sol and mi come next. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. Make sure you're conducting in 4/4. First notes.
Do,
Ready, and
do, si, do, la, sol, fa, mi, do, si, do, re, mi, do, si, la, sol, do, si, do, la, do, re, do, si, do, mi, re, do, si, la, sol, do, si, sol, la, si, do, sol, mi, sol, fa, la, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, si, sol, la, si, do, sol, mi, sol, fa, re, mi, fa, re, sol, la, si, do, sol, do, si, la, do, re, la, re, do, si, mi, si, mi, re, do, si, la, re, do, si, do, la, fa, mi, re, do.
all right, and we'll leave it at that for this video. Keep practicing. Make sure you've done all the exercises up to 65 in Danhauser's book. Next time we'll get to some 16th notes in Danhauser and to some triplets in the Dandelot. But until then, happy sight singing.